أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Lesson number 127, Surah Ar-Rad, ayah number 1 to 17. Surah Ar-Rad, Ar-Rad, which means thunder. There is a difference of opinion whether the surah is Makki or Madani. Because the topics of the surah, the things that are mentioned, they are generally those things which are mentioned in Makki surahs. The signs and the creation of Allah. This is generally a theme in which surahs? Makki surahs. However, the ayat of the surah, they are long. And in Makki surahs generally, the ayat are short. But this surah has long ayat as well. So, this is why there is a difference of opinion whether the surah is Makki or Madani. However, the majority, they hold the opinion that this is a Makki surah. Because of its themes, because of the topics that it discusses. There are 43 verses in the surah, so it's one of the short surahs. In Surah Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in ayah number 105 that وَكَأَيٍّ مِّنْ آيَةٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَمُرُّونَ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ عَنْهَا مُعْرِضُونَ. That there are so many signs in the heavens and the earth which the people pass by, but still they are averse to them. They turn away from them. They don't use their intellect. So in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions many of His ayat, inviting us to reflect, to use our vision, to use our intellect, and to use our thought. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim Ra. Huruf muqatta'at. Tilka ayatul kitab. These are the verses of the book. Which book? The Quran. So, tilka ayatul kitab, these ayat that you're about to read, they are the verses of the Quran. And according to some, al-kitab over here refers to the surah. Because al-kitab basically is what? Kat means al-jamr, to collect. So, kitab is a collection of words, of ayat, of sentences. So, these are the verses of the book of the surah. وَالَّذِي, and that which unzila ilayka, which has been revealed to you, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, min rabbika, from your Lord, it is al-haq, it is the truth. That which has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth, meaning the Quran that has been revealed to you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is definitely true. What does it mean by al-haq? Meaning it is completely true, it is based on truth, it is free of any doubt, and it is truth sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But despite that, وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ, but most of the people, لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ, they do not believe. These ayat, they are of the surah. And what has been revealed to you from Allah is the truth. But despite that, most of the people do not believe in it. Most of the people do not believe in the Quran. Who are most of the people? It can be understood as the majority of the people of Mecca, and after them the majority of people in every era. In every era, the majority of the people do not believe in the Quran. Just as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Yusuf, ayah 103, that وَمَا أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. That most of the people, no matter how much you desire, no matter how much you want, most people do not believe. Because most people are blind to the truth. They don't believe in it. Why? Because they don't reflect upon it. They don't try to understand it. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions His ayat in this surah, so that we can use our mind, we can use our intellect, we can understand this truth. And if the people, if they use their mind, if they tried to understand the Quran, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they would certainly believe. They would certainly believe. Because think about it. The Quran was revealed to a person who never said a verse of poetry, who did not desire any authority in that land, who never uttered a lie. People knew him to be someone who was truthful, to be someone who was trustworthy. And when he received prophethood, what was he calling people to? To himself, so that he is made the king? No, he is calling people to Allah. Ad'u ila Allah. And the fact that lives were transformed, the fact that people changed, the entire Arabian Peninsula was changed. And as a result of that, the face of the earth, everything was changed. What the Prophet ﷺ brought about, an entire revolution. It changed everything. So how is it possible that what the Prophet ﷺ brought was not the truth? It must be the truth. So in this surah, we are invited to use our mind, to reflect, so that we can recognize this truth and we can accept it. We see over here that the majority of the people, they do not believe. But when they don't believe, does that change the truth at all? It doesn't. So just because the majority of the people are in denial, it does not mean that you should doubt the Qur'an. You should be confident about it, because you don't consider something to be true just because people accept it. Majority is not always authority. And if a person does deny the truth, then who is he causing loss to? Himself. He's not causing any loss to the other. He's only harming himself. For example, if a person refuses to accept that butter is bad for his cholesterol, and he continues to have it, and people try to explain to him, the doctor says you should not have it, but he says, no, it's not bad for me. If he continues to have it, who is he going to harm? Himself. Is the doctor going to suffer? No. He's only going to make more money with the patient coming to him again and again. Are the pharmaceutical companies going to suffer? Not at all. They're only going to make more money. Who is going to suffer? This man is going to suffer. His pocket is going to suffer. His health is going to suffer. So when a person rejects the truth, he only harms himself. Allah is the one who, Alladhi, the one who, rafa'a as-samawati, who raised the skies. Allah has raised the skies, بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ, without pillars, تَرَوْنَهَا, that you can see. Amad is from the root letters Ain, Mim, Dal, and it's the plural of the word imad. Imad is pillar, and amad, pillars. And what is an imad? A pillar, a support, something on which a structure stands, something on which the ceiling, a building stands. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the skies above, in height, but He has raised them بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ تَرَوْنَهَا, without pillars that you can see. This part of the ayah has been understood in two ways. First of all, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the skies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the samawat, and He has raised them how? بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ, without any pillars. Without any pillars at all. Can you imagine a building standing without pillars? A building standing without a foundation? Something solid, something that carries so much in itself, something that is carrying a lot of weight in itself, is standing without any support. Like for example, if you wish to put lights up in the ceiling. Similarly, you want to put something extremely heavy on the ceiling. Don't you have to have some kind of support for that ceiling? Can you just make it up like that? No, you have to have some support. But the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the skies without any pillars, they're standing without any pillars, and in the sky there are so many stars, so many galaxies, so many clouds, the sun, the moon, so much water. Isn't that amazing that all of this is up there without any pillars? In Surah Al-Hajj, ayah number 65, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيُمْسِكُ السَّمَاءَ أَن تَقَعَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. He withholds the heaven from falling onto the earth except by His permission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is holding the heaven from falling onto the earth. Secondly, this has been understood as that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the skies, رَفَعَ السَّمَاوَاتِ, without such pillars that تَرَوْنَهَا, that you can see. Meaning the pillars are there, but they are invisible to you. There is something that holds the skies up and everything within the heavens. However, what holds the skies and everything above, you cannot see it. Now what does this refer to? It has been discovered that there is a magnetic field that binds all of the celestial bodies together. For example, what prevents the earth from going towards the sun as opposed to going around it? What prevents the moon from coming closer to the earth? What is it? It's this magnetic energy that's there, which is binding all of the celestial bodies together. But if you look at it, this energy, it is not visible to the naked eye. Isn't it so? We cannot see it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised the skies and everything within, بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ تَرَوْنَهَا. Because if you look at it, if you throw anything in the earth, immediately it's going to fall to the ground. But it's amazing that the clouds are up there and they don't fall. They don't collapse. The sun is there, it's not pulled towards the earth. The moon is there, it's not pulled towards the earth. It doesn't fall to the earth. There is something that is holding everything in its place. And this energy is not visible to the human eye. It cannot be seen by us. Why is this being mentioned over here? If you look at it many times, what do people say? That we cannot believe in God. We cannot believe in God. We cannot believe in the angels. Why? We cannot see. We don't see the angels. We do not see God. So how can we believe? It's the haqq. It's the truth. But akthar an-nas, most people, they do not believe. But when it comes to this energy, people believe in it. Can they see it? No. But they believe in it. Then if they can believe this with regards to some energy that is holding all of the celestial bodies in place, then what prevents you from believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Although you cannot see Him. Isn't this strange? It's strange how people have more yaqeen, they have more certainty in science and discovery, in theories, which are only theories many times. You cannot factually prove them. But when it comes to believing in God, they're very doubtful, very skeptical. They say, we cannot see Him. We cannot see the angels. So therefore we cannot believe. And if you look at it, so many theories, so many discoveries, they have been proven wrong. So Allah is the one who has raised the heavens بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ تَرَوْنَهَا ثُمَّ اسْتَوَىٰ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Then He rose upon the throne. Meaning, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heavens and the earth, when He held the skies and everything within, in their place, and the earth in its place, after the completion of the creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rose above His throne. How? In a manner that befits Him. Why is this being mentioned over here? What is being emphasized? What is being emphasized is the fact that behind all of this is who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything is in the dominion of who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the one who is on the arsh, who is He? The King, the Master. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala istawa ala al-arsh. He is the King, He is the Master of the heavens and the earth. Everything is in His dominion. He owns it, He maintains it, He governs it, He controls everything. Nothing happens without His will. Nothing happens without His direction. وَسَخَّرَ, and He has subjected الشَّمْسَ, the sun, وَالْقَمَرَ, and the moon. He has subjected the sun and the moon. He has put them both to their respective tasks. The sun has a task, the moon has a task. And kullun, all, meaning the sun, the moon, and the rest of the celestial bodies, all of them are yajri, it flows, it proceeds, li'ajali musamma, for a fixed time. Every celestial body, whether it's the sun, or the moon, or some star, everything, it is yajri, it is proceeding, it is going on its course, it is in its constant orbit, until when? لِأَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى, for a fixed period of time. And what is that fixed period of time? What is that specified term? The Day of Judgment. Meaning, nothing at all in the skies is stationary. Everything is constantly moving. Everything is in its constant orbit. And it goes in its orbit according to the plan of who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And each is heading towards what? Its ajal musamma, until its specified term. And when does that expire? The Day of Judgment. Secondly, this has been understood as ajal musamma, this fixed term, it refers to the fixed periods in which they complete their certain orbits. That each celestial body is going around on its orbit, completing its orbit. And once it completes it, it begins again. And once it completes that, it begins again. كُلٌّ يَجْرِي لِأَجْلٍ مُسَمَّى. In Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah number 33, we learn, وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. And it is He who has created the night and the day, and the sun and the moon. All heavenly bodies in an orbit are swimming. They are proceeding. يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ. He regulates the matter. The matter of what? Of His entire creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who regulates the affairs of the entire creation. He arranges all matters in the heavens and the earth, meaning nothing that happens in the heavens and the earth is haphazard, without any order. Everything happens according to the plan of Allah. And yudabbiru from the word tadbir, dal ba ra, which is to plan for something, to arrange for something, keeping the end in mind. So yudabbiru al-amra. Yufassilu al-ayat. He explains in detail the signs. The signs of what? His qudra, of His ability, of His power, His authority. Why is He explaining this to you in detail? لَعَلَّكُمْ, so that you بِلِقَاءِ رَبِّكُمْ تُوقِنُونَ, so that you can believe in certainty in the meeting of your Lord. You can believe with conviction. In what? In the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look at it, the entire creation, especially what has been mentioned over here, is an evidence of the existence of its master. The sun, the moon, everything in the heavens, the sky above and everything that it holds, the earth and everything that it holds. Everything is an evidence of the existence of what? Its master. And yet the state of the majority of the people is what? That they do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look at it, everything that Allah has created is heading towards its end. The earth, the stars, the mountains, everything is heading towards its end. Nothing at all in this earth is permanent. Nothing at all in the sky is permanent. Everything is heading towards its demise. For example, in the earth only, that there are so many mountains, but what happens? One earthquake and the mountains crumble. The entire scene changes. One wave of water, one tsunami, and the entire scene changes. Everything is heading towards its end. Yet people do not wonder why. How come? If everything is heading towards its end, why? What's the reason behind that? With each day that passes, we grow older. Things, they lose their value. Things deteriorate. But no one wonders why. What are we heading towards? And what is there after we meet that end? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about all of these signs so that we can develop yaqeen, conviction in the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the hereafter. That just as you see many buildings coming to the ground, many cars and houses being swept away, you see many trees falling to the ground, you realize that eventually a time will come when you too will be gone. When you see the sun setting, when you see the day departing and the night coming in, what should that teach you? That eventually a time will come when your life will also come to an end. This is a main lesson that we learn from the creation that is around us. Seasons come and they go. Years come and they go. Months come and go. People come and go. Circumstances come and they change. What does that teach us? Everything has an end, including us. لَعَلَّكُمْ بِلِقَاءِ رَبِّكُمْ تُوقِنُونَ, so that you can believe in conviction with the meeting of your Lord. Everything we have becomes outdated, becomes old. People's houses, people's belongings, their certifications, their degrees, everything eventually perishes. Just recently I was looking at some of the pictures of the tsunami and the earthquake, and there was a photo album of a family that was found in the debris, in all the rubble. Now just imagine a photo album. People keep with so much love and they keep looking at it again and again, so many memories it has, but all of them are gone now. They're finished, swept away. Completely gone. What does that teach us? That no matter how much we try to keep, eventually we're going to go. وَهُوَ الَّذِي, and He is the one who مَدَّ الْأَرْضَ, He has spread the earth. Madda from the root letters mim dal dal, which is to stretch something lengthwise. And when something is stretched lengthwise, it becomes longer. It becomes more spacious. So مَدَّ الْأَرْضَ, He has stretched out, He has extended, He has spread out, He has laid out the earth. In the previous ayah, what was mentioned? The sky. Now in this ayah, what is mentioned? The earth. In the previous ayah was mentioned the sky and what it contains. In this ayah, the earth and what it contains. So Allah has stretched out the earth, vast, before and all around us. And if you look at it, the word mad has been used because you keep going on the earth and you never see an end. It seems so long. Every road seems so long. It's long. It's stretched out. The heaven, the sky has been made as a roof and the earth has been spread out. It's vast, spacious in its length and its width, so that it's livable. It's easy for human beings to live upon it. وَجَعَلَ, and He has made, فِيهَا, in it, رَوَاسِيَ, firmly anchored mountains. Rawasiya is the plural of rasiya, from the root letters ra, sin, waw, rusu. And rusu is to fix something. What does it mean? To fix something. Rasa shay is when something is firm, it is fixed, and it is also balanced. It is also well balanced. Because, for example, if you put a nail in the wall, and if you don't hammer it in deep enough, then what's going to happen? You hang a picture on it and it's going to fall. It's not firmly fixed, and as a result of that, it's not well balanced. When something is firmly fixed, when it's deeply rooted, then no matter how much you try to shake it, it's not going to come out. Now from this, the word rawasi is used for mountains. But why is this word used? Because mountains, they are firmly fixed. If you try to push a mountain, can you do that? You can't push it. Even an inch, even a centimeter, you cannot do that. It's firmly fixed. It's firmly anchored. And they're deeply rooted as well. Very deeply rooted. And at the same time, they're also very huge, very tall. So rawasi is used for mountains that are very deep, firmly fixed, and they're also huge, towering mountains. وَأَنْهَارًا, and also rivers. Now why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed mountains on the earth? أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ, so that it does not sway with you, in order to stabilize the earth. And the word rawasi, the plural, what does that indicate? Mountain ranges. Not a mountain here and a lone mountain there. No, He has placed mountain ranges so that the earth remains firm. وَأَنْهَارًا, and rivers. Anhar is a plural of nahr. And this can apply to rivers, it can apply to springs, any water that flows in a passage. So He has also placed rivers in the earth. Why? Why? So that people can find water everywhere. Imagine if water was only concentrated in oceans and in lakes. How difficult it would be to get water. But the fact that there are rivers and there are springs, it's easier to irrigate land like that, no matter how far you are from a lake. وَمِن كُلِّ ثَمَرَاتٍ, and from every fruit. الثَّمَرَات is a plural of ثَمَرَة. And remember, ثَمَرَة is not just fruit, but it is produce. The product of a process, it's produce. So whether it's in the form of fruit, or it is in the form of vegetables or grains, and He has made from every fruit, جَعَلَ, He has made, فِيهَا, in it, زَوْجَيْن, two pairs, إِثْنَيْن, two. He has placed, or He has made, of every kind of fruit, two kinds. Every species has two types of thamara, two types of produce. Now what does it mean by this? He has made two types, two zawjayn isnayn. This has been understood in several ways. That first of all, every type of produce is in pairs, that one is male and the other is female. If you look at it in certain plants, flowers, trees, there has to be cross-pollination between the male and the female. Secondly, in the fruit itself, it has been understood that one type of fruit is very sweet and the other is sour or bitter. Right? Like for example, apples. One you find very sweet and the others you find very bitter, very sour. Similarly, zawjayn, the two pairs, it also applies to one is very nourishing and the other is not that nourishing. In fact, it could be harmful. For example, berries. If you just take the family of berries, some berries, they have antioxidants in them, and some berries, they are poisonous. زوجين اثنين. They look alike, but they're completely different in their effect. And then this has also been understood as that each type of produce has at least 2 different kinds. Minimum 2 different kinds. Anything, any herb, any fruit, any vegetable, any leaf that you pick up, there will always be another variety of it, another kind of it that exists. Like, for example, potatoes. Do you get only red potatoes? No. There's so many different types, so many different colors. Carrots, lettuce, apples, citrus fruits, lemons, limes, so many different types. وَمِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ جَعَلَ فِيهَا زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ. And why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept this variety? So that we do not become bored. Because unfortunately people have this problem, that when they have one thing for too long, they get bored of it. They want some variety. And also there's a great wisdom behind this, that if one thing does not suit a person, there is always an alternative. If one thing does not suit you, there is always an alternative. For example, if dairy does not suit a person, there is always some alternative to it. Like, for example, you can find rice milk and soy milk and Allahu A'lam, what kind of milk. So if one does not suit a person, there's so much variety that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept. يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ. He wraps the night onto the day. يُغْشِي from غَيْن شِين يَا. So he wraps the night, al-layl, onto what? An-nahara, the day. Note the expression over here. It indicates that the night and the day, both of them, they gradually overlap the other. The night gradually overlaps the day, and the day gradually overlaps the night. Because if you notice, يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ, both are objects. So this means that the night is made to cover over the day, and the day is made to overcome the night as well. So it happens both ways. And notice that it happens gradually, يُغْشِي. And this is also a sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not just have power over space, the skies above, the samawat that we learned earlier in the previous ayah, or matter. He does not just have control over space and matter, but He also has control over time. Because if you look at it, there are 3 things that exist, right? Space, matter, and time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control over all of them. He has created them, He is the one who has authority over them, and He is the one who is functioning all of this. Because istawa ala al-arsh, He is the one who has authority over all of this. In Surah Az-Zumar, ayah number 5, we learn, يُكَوِّرُ اللَّيْلَ عَلَى النَّهَارِ وَيُكَوِّرُ النَّهَارَ عَلَى اللَّيْلِ. He makes the night cover the day, and He makes the day cover the night. Wrap over one another. يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ. Now there is a question. In the previous ayah, what was mentioned? The sky and everything that it has. In this ayah, what is mentioned? The earth and what it has. But the night and the day have been mentioned with what? The earth and not the sky. What does this show to us? That the night and the day, how do they come about? With the rotation of the earth. Not the coming of the sun and the going of the sun, but it happens with what? Rotation of the earth. يُغْشِي اللَّيْلَ النَّهَارَ. Because the sun and the moon have not been mentioned, the night and the day have been mentioned. And the fact that He makes each one cover over the other, that reflects the rotation of the earth. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ, indeed in that, لَآيَاتٍ, surely signs, for who? لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, for people who reflect. Signs of what? Of His oneness. Signs of His power. There's so many signs in this for those people who reflect. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not created all of this in vain. Allah has created all of this so that we benefit. And also, that through all of this, we recognize Him. And if a person uses his intellect, he reflects, then he would surely come to the conclusion that Allah is the one who made all of this, and He is the one who is functioning all of this.